Yo, my dudes! No, let's try again. No, I'm just kidding. So the patch is coming finally after like really long wait. Okay, like it's been more than 8 months since the elementals, and this has been a long time coming. Battlegrounds is getting a major update tomorrow, May the 4th. If you're watching this on May the 4th, then well, it just came out, and you should tune into my Twitch stream right now. Battlegrounds updates. Quillboar. This is what we're getting. So zoom in just a little. Quillboar have been added as a new Battlegrounds minion type. Battlegrounds, of course, the most popular game mode for Hearthstone. It's a very popular game mode, and you guys should play it and try give it a go if you haven't. That's what I've been doing like the past 1.5 years. I've been focusing on this Battlegrounds mode. There will still be 5 minion types per Battlegrounds game once Quillboar are added, meaning that 3 minion types will be excluded. So you could have like 3 of them out now. That's pretty wild. There's been multiple tribes now added. Like even dragons were not included in the beginning either, right? We got pirates and then elementals, and this is now the 4th tribe that's getting added. But the Quillboars will show up every match until the next, in like probably like 2 months. So if you want to play Quillboars, you can play them every game. That's cool. That's how it should be too, I think. The Quillboar update has 17 new minions, 3 new heroes, and a new mechanic, Blood Gems. There were a couple of other new mechanics too, or mechanics that haven't really been happening, but I'll get to those in a little bit later. They are spells that give friendly minion +1/+1. Some Quillboars give you Blood Gems, while others have special interactions, so they like get extra buffs. Like there's one, for example, that gets Divine Shield every time you give a blood gem to it. We also added Battleground support for your favorite coin. As a reminder, you can find coin as your favorite by... Okay, so that's gonna be like a cosmetic thing. So it's like whenever you like generate coins in your hand, I guess. But yeah, very sweet. Finally prepare for fresh playing field as all players' rating will be reset. And there's another thing about this. So it's not just gonna be like a reset on the visible rating. But the developers confirmed on Twitter that all the high MMR players will have their hidden rating also reset to 10,000 or 8,000 or something like that. I didn't get like clarification on if it's 8,000 or 10,000, but that doesn't really matter. Either way, like my hidden rating tomorrow will be like the maximum because I'm at 11,000, 12,000 right now. So it's actually going to be like a level playing field for everyone. If your previous rating was 10,000. So, because what happened in the past was that some players ended a season at like 15,000 and other players ended at like 10,000. And then whoever had the 15,000 rating had like this like invisible like rubber band, like just pull them like higher, and they were getting more points from the wins all the time. Even though realistically you were playing like the best players still like all the time. Like the players you played against were not different because ratings were so high. But you were just like getting like a bigger gains, so it wasn't really like fair. It didn't feel fully fresh. So tomorrow we are going to have an actual fair like battle for the first positioning. No one is going to use old ratings to get there faster or anything like that. New and updated heroes: Deathspeaker Blackthorn. So this is one of the new 3 heroes. I believe there are 3 heroes, and there was 1 hero that was changed. After you upgrade a tavern, gain 2 blood gems. Seems pretty good. Like, just on turn 2, getting 2 gems. If you have a good 1-drop, for example, that's so big. +2/+2 when you level up early. Like, obviously, like when the game continues, like the blood gems are probably worth a little bit less. But even then, like you can like buff your Hydra or any of the Quillboar things. So this will definitely be a playable hero. I don't know how strong. It's hard to evaluate, but it will definitely be good. It will be good. You should pick this. Vol'jin. Choose 2 minions, swap the stats. Oh, so you can have like, you can buff any kind of like crappy minion, or you can if you get a Hydra, you can give the Hydra like the best stats. Or this is pretty crazy, guys. This is gonna be really powerful. And like if mechs are in the game, like you can always give like big stats. You can make a pink man to like 50/50, and then you give the 50/50 stats to a Deflectobot or something. Like Deflectobot in particular is going to be like a really good one to switch. Like swapping when you buy a 3/2 Deflectobot, and because it can get their shield multiple times, right? But like with you can give your stats to a deflect, or you can give the stats to a Hydra. So with Vol'jin, you might want to like if demons are available, it might be a good strategy to start with demons, and then you like switch to something else, like when you have a big Pinkman. Shirella, another new hero. Choose a minion in tavern, add it to your hand, set its stats to 2, but it only costs. So you can basically buy 1 unit for 2 gold every round. But as a downside, or you mostly downside, it will be have like altered stats. It will only be a 2/2. If you buy a miniature Mug or Chug or even like something like Bran, you don't really care about the stats that much. Or let's say there's also a bunch of like Microbot or whatever, Micro Mommy, or like there's a bunch of even with Hydra, like it's basically the same as the usual. So I think this will be pretty good because you can save a lot of gold over the duration of the match. I don't think this will be like OP hero. This is gonna be on like probably like average, I think. Because at the end of the day, like if there's some kind of choosy minion, like you could just buy it for 3 gold, right? And you can still only use this once per turn. So like throughout the game you get like 8 gold or something from this. Egg. Yeah, I mean, but even for egg, like I think it's okay. I think this is an okay hero, but at the end of the day, like all the strong units, you will be able to buy them anyway. You would just so you get like 1 gold discount. You get 1 gold every turn if you use this. But let's say you only use it like 2 out of 3 turns you use it. So you get like in 10 turns you get 6 gold. It is definitely not OP. Like it will be good early game. This will be like okay. But out of these heroes, like I'm definitely more hyped for Vol'jin and Blackthorn. This will not be too ridiculous. It's still better than Yogg. I mean, yeah, and I guess Yogg is like a good hero, kinda. So like it's kind of like that, I guess. I mean, I could see it being kind of like a better Yogg, but then again, like the Yogg buffs that you get for free are often winning you like the first 8 rounds or something. Like, is it better than Yogg? Maybe it's like Yogg tier or like around the same. So, King of Quillboar. So I'm assuming that it will always start with the King of Quillboar. It's not really like specified here. It looks like it's the exact same thing. Still pretty boring. Like I don't think that's gonna be like huge change. I mean, like Rat King did need some help, but I don't know. Like it's kind of whatever. Kind of whatever, guys. I made the same mistake. Yeah, it's pretty boring. Yeah. All right, let's get to the new minions then. So my like favorites maybe I think Vol'jin is still probably the most fun one to try out with Deflectobot and Hydra, and then like the Death Speaker Blackthorn with the Blood Gem strategies, because like Blood Gems, it's 12 Blood Gems throughout the match, right? So like trying out the like gaining the benefits of like using Blood Gems and stuff. This might be really good. And then Xurella is like, yeah, it's like average or above average, and then like Rat King is still whatever. Razorfen Geomancer 3-1 Battlecry in a Blood Gem. Yeah, I mean it's a 3-1 and like yeah, it doesn't like trade super well, but you can also just like use the Blood Gem on itself immediately, so it's kind of like a 4-2, which is a good 1-star or like decent 1-star. It's like a basic unit. Then we have the Sun Bacon Relaxer. When I first saw the name of this card, I laughed out loud. So when you sell this, you gain 2 Blood Gems. So that's like a pretty good like temporary unit and stuff. 2 Blood Gems is basically +2/+2. So for a 1-star, that's pretty legit. Roadboar Frenzy. So I think this one is really good if you can get it early. I think this is super good. Because like if you have it leave once, if you like the first fight you do with Roadboar, but let's be clear, I think this is only good early. If you get it on like turn 3, I think it's super strong. Because it's very likely that on turn 3 when you fight that this will give you the Blood Gem. And then what you do is you're gonna use this Blood Gem on this exact unit, and then it's 3-5, and at that point it's almost guaranteed to live. So it kind of like snowballs. If you can get the first Blood Gem, you will get the second one, and then you will get the third one, I think. Yeah, it's like a Roadhog from Overwatch, I guess. Some people were saying that, yeah. Like a Roadhog type of thing. But yeah, I think that's gonna be a good one very early. But then it becomes a little bit like less good because you can't necessarily keep it alive. Like 2-4 is not that great of stats for like turn 6 fight. It's always gonna get one-shotted, right? But this is like, even if you're not planning on going Quillboar, if you get this on turn 3, I would probably like buy it every time. Seems kind of good. Tough Tusk, tier 2, 4-3. Oh my god. Okay, so after a Blood Gem is played on this, gain Divine Shield for the next combat. So this is kind of nuts because the stat line, chat, it's a 2-star 4-3. And not only that, but after 1 Blood Gem already, it's gonna be a Divine Shield 5-4, 2-star. What? I don't know how easy it's gonna be to like keep Blood Gemming it every turn, but this card is pretty generous on the stats for a 2-star, I think, because it has an ability too. It's not like crazy because it's 3 health, but and like you might also like kind of like feel like you have a better use for your Blood Gems, like play it on something else, something that always has Divine Shield, or play your Blood Gems on a Cleave, or play your Blood Gems on like a different ability. So it's like a price to pay. Now that I think about it, maybe it's not as good as I thought. But then again, like for like miniature comps and stuff, like it can get pretty big, and then like it's probably not that difficult to have a Blood Gem every round. So it's basically gonna be like perma Divine Shield. Gonna be a house early game. Yeah, exactly. Like if you have like this to keep feeding it, or even like just Sunbake and Relaxer, like is 2 turns of like both buffs. Because remember, the Blood Gem doesn't just give it Divine Shield, you still get the normal buff too. So that's pretty cool. Prophet of the Boar. 3 attack, 3 health, once per turn. After you play a Quillboar, gain a Blood Gem. So this is kind of like a new mechanic. Once per turn, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, so this is the type of thing that like provides you stuff with a Tough Tusk. And then with this, you can also like, after you play a Quillboar, it makes like these kind of good. Like you can buy this, and this will give you 2 Blood Gems instead of 1. And this will give you 3 Blood Gems instead of 2. And it's also just a 2-star, so you can get this pretty early and start like collecting some of the Blood Gems, I guess, and do whatever you want. But it's noteworthy that this by itself is not a Quillboar, so buffing this is going to be not as easy. And then let's move on to 3 stars. Bristleback Brute. The first Blood Gem played on this each turn gives an extra +3/+3. Ooh. So if you get this really early, it's going to be a house, but honestly, I think this one looks better than it is. I think this one looks better than it is, chat. Because we've seen it with like, I know this is 3-star and Big Fernal is 4-star, but like the extra +3/+3 is like, kind of like, it's just not enough. Like, if you buff it for 5 turns, you get an extra +15/+15. That sounds like it's a lot, but 5 turns is like pretty long time, and you have to give it 5 Blood Gems, and like, if you think about like Hank, if you are winning every round, it gets +2/+2. That's like slightly more. Again, like if you get it early, but I think this is not as good as you would think. It is true that you still get the Blood Gem buff too. And like, if you get this very early, like if you get it on turn 5, let's say turn 5 you get this, and you keep playing Blood Gems on it, like, maybe you can have a nice win streak. But especially on later turns, like let's say turn 8 you see this unit, I think it's too late. It will not scale fast enough. Like for turn 8 to have this in a menagerie or something, it would need a Divine Shield. It would need a Divine Shield or Poison or Cleave. Like it would need an ability. At the end of the day, it's nothing but stats. And it still has a requirement too that you need to keep doing. Banner Boar. Tier 3, 2/5. At the end of your turn, play a Blood Gem on adjacent Quillboar. Ooh. So this could be kind of juicy with the Bristleback. Because it can keep buffing this every turn, right? So then it takes out the requirement of like, or the burden of like Blood Gems. So this could be like a pretty good like duo. If you get a shop that has like both of these at the same time, you can be like, oh, there's the Brute and a Banner Boar. I'm gonna buy both of them, and then you put them next to each other, and then this is gonna keep getting buffs. Or it could also supply like the Blood Gems on the Tough Tusk to keep giving it shield every time. I mean, obviously you need someone to buff with this. So I think most of the time it's going to be that you already have, like, you bought, like, one of these. You have, like, a Tough Tusk, or you have a Bristleback Brute. You have one of those, and then you buy this because you're like, oh, that goes nicely with my with my bristleback brute. Alright, next one. Thorncaller. Battle Crane Death Rattle, gain a blood gem. So this one is really good, I think. Because, like, this works in any comp. Like, you don't need to be playing Quillboards for this to be legit. Like, 3 mana 4/3, and if you play the blood gem on itself already, it's like you get an instant 5/4 at 3-star. There's a lot of like 4-star units that are 5/4. This is a 3-star that's basically a 5/4. But it's not only that, like you can use the blood gem better, and you're gonna keep getting a +1, +1, +1, +1 every single turn that you can put anywhere. I think this is a really good unit. I think you buy this almost like every time. And this doesn't mean that you have to play. I think it's so good that it doesn't even like have to be Quillboars. Like when we look at the banner boar, this is a unit that you want to play if you have other Quillboars. But I feel like this one, especially early, like you can just buy it like no matter what. Even after just one fight, it's a 3-star 4/3 with +2/+2 on anything. Like just after one fight, +2/+2. So it's. If you compare it to like the 3-star mech buff guy, like the 2/5, that +2/+2 on a mech, like just think about how much better this is. Because you get +2/+2, but you can also get more than +2/+2. And there might be death roll synergies. And you can put the +2/+2 on anything you want. And they are not just regular buffs, they are blood gems that have extra benefits. Insta buy, when you see it on the first 6 turns or 7 turns, like. Of course, when your tavern is like 5 stars, it's not that relevant anymore, but on any of the early games, if you see this, you just buy it. Nesod Fish, double that? Oh yeah, that's pretty cool too. There's always like some extra benefits like with Macau and what else, like if you... Well, I guess that's not that great, but it's still like, having a death roll is nice. Necrolite. Tier 3 Quillboar. There's so many tier 3s. What? Choose a friendly minion. Steal all blood gems from its neighbors. It steals all blood gems from its neighbors. So, this is really interesting. So this also means that positioning will matter. So whatever, like... I mean, but you can... No, but you can just shuffle them around, right? So you can position them just before using this. So, but yeah. Anyway. So any, like, early buffs, like if you're for example, your Tough Tusk doesn't get strong enough. Like if you feel like it's outdated and it's not like worth playing anymore, you can buy your Hydra and just move all the gems from it. It seems good to like follow up. This is like when you sell your banner board and stuff, you can just move your gems to whatever you want to buff. Yeah, you don't like lose value. It also makes gem stacking kind of good. So you don't want to like one gem here, one gem here, one gem here. If you put all the gems on a unit that seems like it wouldn't be good enough to keep in your final lineup, you can just at the end of the game, like you can use it for winning early rounds when it's like a strong unit, like whatever 15/15 or with 10 blood gems. You can use it to fight early. Like I could imagine like buffing this Tough Tusk 10 times, and then you're like, ooh, like 15/15, but it's not quite like good enough for late game. And then you just, instead of like keeping it, you move the 10 gems to a Foe Reaper. And like your Foe Reaper instantly goes to 15/15. It could be pretty interesting. But there are situations too when like, especially in early, I feel like this is not necessarily something you buy like super fast, unless you have a specific unit. This is something you want to like keep your eye out for, and it incentivizes putting a lot of gems on the same units. You just gotta like spot the opportunities, like, okay, I have this 2/4 Hydra, let's move these gems to it, or something like that. Hydra in particular is like very, very important one, but Beasts are gonna be out a good amount of games too. Could be other Divine Shields too, like you could put your gems on a Bronze Drake or something and move on to like more like a menagerie type of build. Dynamic Duo. Taunt. After a blood gem is played on another Quillboar, gain +1/+1. But it doesn't get a blood gem of its own, right? There's no other ability though. It's I don't like this super much. I don't feel like it's that much better than like, let's say, the Demon 5/8 Taunt. This is not like crazy strong. Like it's just Taunt, no Divine Shield, no anything like that. Like So it's not gonna be that great in late game. And if you're going like full Quillboards, I guess it's fine, but it also, like, the Blood Gem has to be played on another Quillboar. It's not, like, outstanding. I think it might be an okay unit. Like, it might be pretty fine. Especially if you're doing full Quillboars, but for a 4-star, I would say this is, like, slightly underwhelming. Like, I wouldn't have hated to see it, like, be like a, I don't know, 5-7 or something. Bonker! Okay, this card is bonker. 4-star, 4-7, Wind Fury. After this attacks, gain a Blood Gem. Okay, so this one is pretty cool. I actually kind of like this one. Because you always get at least 1 gem, right? And you might be getting 2, and then you can, like, kind of like snowball with it. I mean, I don't know, like, Wind Fury without anything else, like, Wind Fury with no Divine Shield is not really, like, or Poison, it's not, like, that crazy, but I think it's pretty sweet. Especially, once I feel like the same thing, we keep saying it, that, like, a lot of these are, like, good if you get them early. Like, it's like, there's so many snowball-style units. Like, a lot of these units are, the earlier you get it, like, the more Blood Gems you get. So there's so many snowball units. But that's just kind of how this entire tribe is, honestly. There's a lot of, like, mechanics where you just, like, if you get it early, you will, like, benefit more. Like this one, Wind Fury. So if you get this early, it's gonna get you 2 gems. And if you get 2 gems, you will continue to get 2 gems, because you make it stronger. You buff it with the first Blood Gems. There's a lot of, like, rich get richer type of mechanics here with this tribe in particular, like, all across. The earlier you get those, the earlier you start winning, and then, like, the more you win, the more gems you get. We'll see how good it is. Like, it might not be that great, but I think it's spicy. Mega Wind Fury. After it attacks, gain 2 Blood Gems, so you could get 8 Blood Gems in a turn. Wow. Crown Shaker. After a Blood Gem is played this turn, give your minions +2 attack for next combat only. I am not a fan of these next combat only units in general. These are not my style of units. There might be a chance that this unit can be, like, played successfully, like, in some kind of comp, but I don't like these in my lineups. I always want to get units that permanently buff. Because, like, the moment you sell this, you just, like, kind of didn't reinforce your army enough. And, like, it's not really, like, the +2 attack will not be that useful in late game. Like, it's gonna fall off. Even if you get the +4, I feel like this unit falls off as the game continues. And it doesn't leave you any benefits behind. Temporary buffs, and not that good in late game. But hey, it might have its moments. Like, maybe you're a little weak early and you need some help, and maybe, like, you are playing Quillboars. So maybe you have a ton of blood gem mechanics. You have, like, this, you have, like, Bonker, and you have a Thorncaller, and you have, like, I don't know, Bannerboar, and then, like, this is giving your entire army +6 attack or something. Or can you only get once? After a Blood Gem is played on... Oh, you have to play them on this too. So it's not like... Oh, you have to play them on this one. Ay. So that means you cannot get them on, like, the Bunker, and I don't like this one. I'm not a huge fan. Maybe it will play out better than it sounds. Bristleback Knight. Wind Fury, Divine Shield, Frenzy Give, Divine... Alright, well, this is a heck of a menagerie unit if you're doing Light Fang stuff. Divine Shield, that's the keyword. Wind Fury too. And Frenzy, get another Divine Shield. Oh boy. So it has, like, extra chances of getting even more. Also, the starting stat line of 4-8 is pretty spicy. So I could totally see, like, having the Bristleback Knight and, like, I don't know, like, something to buff it. Maybe you have, like, Thorncaller or Bannerboar, and you get some, you feed this, and... But Light Fang is the thing that pops to my mind first when I look at this. Because, like, there's not that much, like, reason to play this with other Quillboars, right? Like, this doesn't boost your other Quillboars. And, like, the Blood Gem buffs don't really, like, do anything special. Like, they could be different buffs than Blood Gem buffs. I think this is a good unit. But it's more like a miniature unit than a Quillboar tribe unit. So I think there's better units to give the gems to. It still carries them well. We'll see. We'll see. All right, next one. Agem Thorn Curse. Tier 5 Quillboar. 3 attacks, 6 health. After Blood Gem is played on this, give a friendly minion of each minion type +1/+1. Like Blood Gems become like Light Fang effect. I mean, how many gems can you get a turn? Seems like it could be like, especially if you have something like this. Your Blood Gems give an extra +1/+1. No, I mean, but I guess you don't. You also have to put them on this. So the cool thing about this, chat, is that it also buffs itself. Give a friendly minion of each minion type. So if this is your only Quillboar, it will buff itself. So that's pretty sweet, because one of the problems with Light Fang is that it's a 2/2 by itself. So it's pretty crappy. Like 2/2 Light Fang it's like playing with 5 units. It's obviously like the reason why you buy Light Fang isn't because of the stat line, but it's a downside of it. So whenever you play a Blood Gem on diff, this is only Quillboar. It gets +1/+1 from the Blood Gem itself, and it buffs itself. So we'd have to just like three Blood Gems. It's already gonna be like a 9/12. I like this unit. This is maybe my favorite so far. Like, I think this is pretty sweet. I think there's a lot of things that you can do with this. You can have like some like exact like particular units that you want to buff. It's kind of like situational. Like getting this early would be pretty interesting, and it incentivizes the getting maximum amount of Blood Gems. So this is definitely, it's a weird one, because like the way you get the most Blood Gems is by having a lot of Quillboars. But at the same time, the effect doesn't synergize with having a lot of Quillboars. It synergizes with having different tribes. So yeah, we'll see how good it is. Like, it's kind of tough to evaluate, but I like the unit regardless. We'll experiment. And here's a beast, chat. This is not a Quillboar. This one is a beast. Agamaggan, the Great Boar. Your Blood Gems give an extra +2/+2. Oh my goodness. Woo! Can you play this in a beast lineup somehow? I mean, wow, this is very interesting. The Blood Gem value doubles, but it's like, it's also a 5-star and it's a beast. Like, it's a really weird one. It's like, it doesn't have any combat ability. It has no ability that would benefit in combat. And it's a beast, not a Quillboar by itself. And like, you know, Light Fang lineup, if you have a like a Hydra, it's an interesting one, but I'm not having a little bit of like trouble like wrapping my head around this right now. Because how many gems are you gonna get per turn? You're gonna get like maybe like 3 gems if you have lots of gem like a generation. You'll get like a few gems here and there. It only still like the extra +1/+1 only happens on the one that you put the gem on, so it's only buffing like I feel like this is gonna be buffing less than Major Domo, maybe. If you think about Major Domo, that's a 4-star unit. At 5, I would lean on weak side. Yeah, chat is saying it too, some people in chat. I feel like this might be on the weak side for 5-star. If it was a 4-star unit, it would be really good. But for a 5-star, I feel like it's maybe on the weak side. It just doesn't, like, what would be a juicy amount of extra buffs? Like, I don't know, +5/+5 at least. So you would have to have 5 Blood Gems. I think that's pretty demanding. And even then, like, +5/+5 isn't that crazy. Like, it's like good, but in like super late game maybe. And it's a beast with no combat ability. I will give it a go. I don't wanna call it bad, but I'm a little like suspicious of this one, that it might not be as easy to like get as much benefit as and then it doesn't even fight that well. If you don't have another beast, like if you like don't have a beast at all and you're doing like a miniature, like maybe we can fit it. Okay, Charlga. Tier 6. 7/7. At the end of your turn, play a Blood Gem on all friendly units. Play a Blood Gem. Oh boy. I mean, this one is a bomb. Like, even if you're not in Quillboars. Like, if you get it early, like, this is something, if you discover a 6-drop, like, how do you not like this? Even if it's temporary. Because you're gonna have a full board. So you get, like, you play a 7/7, and then you also get, like, +7/+7. Every turn you get +7/+7. No matter what your comp is, like, you can have a Menagerie lineup, you can have a Quillboar lineup. If you have a Quillboar lineup, of course, it will also, like, activate, like, this, and it will activate, like, this, and so in a full Quillboar, it's even better. But I could also imagine temporarily getting this if you're playing a... Oh, with the boar! Oh, now we're getting into it. Oh, I see. Okay, chat. Okay, it works with the boar. That's true. The cards I looked at earlier were not that good with the boar, but this is, like, it doubles up. I mean, you'd still rather have, like, 2 Charlga, but it does make the boar a little bit better. That's absolutely true. So if you have, like, these two, it becomes a little bit like a Gallegos combo also. It's almost like Gallegos. You're playing Gallegos at that point. Like 2 battle cries. But yeah, like I said, even though this is the best in a Quillboar lineup where Blood Gems do more than just buff, I feel like this could be a unit that you're playing something totally different, and you see a Charlga, you'll like buy it temporarily, or in a Menagerie lineup. I think also works in a Menagerie lineup. You might have a Light Fang, but then you like don't have a Quillboar, or maybe you do have a Quillboar, but you just like. You need an extra unit, like you have 4 strong units, and you just like use this to buff everyone even more. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a fun one for sure. Captain Flat Tusk. After you spend 3 gold, gain a blood gem. Oh, okay. I mean, you're gonna get 3 gems a turn with this, basically, or 4. Because like every time you buy a unit, it costs 3 gold, right? Then when you sell, you get 1 gold back. So. It's basically like... Oh, you can spend the money on rolls too, right? Does that count? I mean, it should count, right? Like, it is spending. You spend money to roll. So it's basically 4 blood gems a turn. 3 or 4. Like 4-ish if you're buying some stuff. I mean, I don't hate it, but... I feel like you need to have a use for the blood gems. Like, Flat Tusk goes well with the... With this one, probably. Like, if you have Akgem, and then you have Flat Tusk. So you get like, good blood gem generation. But, like, if you have a Charlga, it's just, like, the Charlga seems, like, a little better for me, overall. You get, like, 7 blood gems with this, and this gives you 4. So out of these 2, like, I would say Charlga kind of, like, wins. But this one is still interesting. Because like if you get 4 blood gems a turn and you have like, I don't know, Agamaggan and even, or I mean mostly Akgem this is the better one. This is still the better one of the 2. But even if you have this and let's say you have a Hydra or something, maybe you're playing Beast. What if you're playing a Beast company? You have an Agamaggan or you have 2 Agamaggans and you have a Hydra. And then you have like this. It's also like a good filler if your comp is like missing a unit. If you have a lineup where you have like you buffed a few units and you have some good units, but you kind of feel like you still have a couple of weak ones. In those cases, I think that if you get this from a discover, like you pick it over the whatever zap and what else is there, like the bad ones, like a boat and stuff. Like you can pick this over a boat. Because the blood gems are still gonna be like permanent buffs. And +4/+4 every turn, like that's pretty okay. Like you probably have a divine shield at some point. Like almost any lineup is gonna have a divine shield, right? And then if you pick up the Akgem, like name a more iconic duo, like +4/+4 for the entire army every turn. This is the more I think about this. This is the bomb here. Like out of all the units that I've looked, Akgem is the bomb. Like, I keep coming back to this one. Chat. Don't cheat on the board. I'll give the board a chance. Like, it might be spicy. With some, like, additional beast and, like, good blood gem generation and stuff. And having it, like, together with this. Like, if you manage to grab one. But yeah, I mean, I think that's it. And I think this is a really cool set, and I'm excited to play tomorrow, chat. I'm excited to play tomorrow.